Fargo, North Dakota. Make some noise for Josh Johnson!
I've had doctors that really just felt like they were piecing it together as we went. You know what I mean? Like, truly. Like, one time, I don't even know what it was. I had something on my leg that was, like, concerning me, right? And so I went to the doctor, and I'm telling him about it. I'm sitting in his office, going over it, going, like, when it happened, everything, how worried I am, because I've never seen anything like this before, and how I've just been, like, feeling, like, tired all the time, so I'm wondering if it has something to do with this. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, do you want to take a look at it? He's like, yeah, we'll get to it. And then he stands up, grabs, like, all the stuff, stethoscope, stuff that he, I guess he gonna listen to it. I don't know what the plan is. But then he's like, go ahead and stand up, and you can drop your you can drop your pants. And like, I'm like, why are you seem nervous? Like, it was just, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like we're buds. Like, I have to do this now. And we've talked about it thoroughly. Like, you know where the thing is, like upper thigh, right? And so then I like open my belt buckle, I unzip, I start dropping my pants, and maybe I did too fast for him because he was like, oh, pause. I was like, pause? Not a doctor. Say pause. Oh. Because it's tough and it's scary because we only know a medieval amount about how to keep ourselves alive. We think we're smarter because we have more access to information, but even with that access, some people don't want the information. There are people that are straight up, like I used to think from the bottom of my heart, oh, if people just knew, if you knew better, you'd do better. I used to like live by that mantra. And now I'm realizing, no, some people don't want to know. Some people would like to do exactly what they do now. Because to me, I go to a doctor because I'm like, you're a professional. The hope is that you know what's going to be going on. So I don't need to learn about what's going on while it's happening to me, because that's how you die slowly. You know what I mean? I don't want to be sitting on my deathbed like, I figured it out. And so you go to a doctor, because doctors supposed to know. But now there are people who will admit that they don't know, but they'll also be like, nah, he doesn't know either. And it's like, look, I'm not saying doctors know everything, but we, as the general public, we have like a certain amount of knowledge that helps keep us alive. And the rest is other people that we've never met being like, don't eat the lettuce this week. There's E. coli everywhere. And without them, I wouldn't know that. I'd be hitting the lettuce hard. I'd be like, look at how healthy I am. I'm mid-salad right now. You do your best. Everyone is doing their best. Don't think that I think people aren't doing their absolute best. Even when they don't do what I agree with, even when they don't do things that I think are like common sense, people are doing their best, you know? It's just sometimes someone's best shouldn't be here. Do you know what I mean? You can have all the good intentions in the world, but if your best is like subpar, I should probably get you out of there. Let you be a cheerleader. Because I've been through all manner of like medical things. Luckily, nothing so serious that it was like fundamentally life-threatening for long. I'm very thankful that I don't deal with like chronic pain or conditions that I know people in my life do that make them have to adjust plans, cancel plans, make them have to adjust their life, make them have to be thinking about this thing all the time. I luckily don't have to think about my body all the time, you know? But I know a lot of people that do. I know a lot of people that depend on those experts for things that if we were going off of my knowledge, most of this room would be dead. No, I don't claim to be an expert, but I feel like there's this weird place we've gotten to where it used to be knowing something was like a big deal. Oh, ask them, they know, right? And now questioning something is as big of a deal as knowing something. And I'm not saying questions are bad. I just think that at a certain point, we need to distinguish the people who only ever ask questions from the people who actually know things. Do you know what I mean? You should ask questions. I don't want anyone to blindly follow anyone. I'm just saying that when people say do your own research, some of them haven't researched. Research is boring. If you weren't bored during your research, if you just strung a marathon of documentaries on YouTube together, I bet you that wasn't research though. I'm not even saying everything you learned was wrong. I'm just saying like research usually takes time, takes years of your life, takes dedicated study and attention. Real research, knowing something, you have to give something to know something. It takes nothing to just pick things apart until you confuse everyone. Do you know what I mean? And so I said all that because I've made mistakes in my life. I didn't know the difference between the emergency room and urgent care. I wish that they give one of them a less immediate name. I didn't know they weren't interchangeable, all right? It's the emergency room and then it's urgent care. Well, I urgently need help for my emergency, so what should I do? Where does that leave us now? I'm at a fork in the road and whichever I pick sounds like they'll help me quickly. Turns out emergency rooms are for like life-threatening, immediate care. Urgent care is for when you got like a headache. Urgent care, look, and this is not to disparage anyone that works in any place. It's just that urgent care stories, I know people who work in urgent care, and I know people who work in emergency rooms, and the emergency room stories, I should have known to go to the emergency room if it was more serious, because the emergency stories are so much more horrific in nature than the urgent care stories. Like, the urgent care stories are like, yeah, this dude came in and he was filling out his paperwork, but his nose is bleeding the whole time. Kind of got all over the paper. And then he handed it back to me and I was like, ugh. Emergency room stories are like, there was a dude today that, and also anyone who's ever worked in an emergency room and then told me an emergency room story has a 1,000-yard stare. They're not talking to me. They might be talking to God. They might be asking God, why would you let me see something like that? I got into this business to help people. I really want to help and heal, and you show me the devil. I don't want to see that ever again. Because what they will tell me with that wide stare is like, yeah, this guy came in today and his leg was, and it's like, I don't know what that is. That blinking? Sometimes they will just blink in silence. I'm like, is it in the room right now? This guy came in today and his leg was in his chest. You sure this wasn't a dream? No. Like I went to urgent care one time and genuinely was sicker than when I walked in. When I left, I walked to the urgent care and I had an appointment, and which is odd because I thought you were supposed to just run up in there, but get to urgent care. I had my appointment, and the person at the front, look, God bless them, truly. I know they were just doing their best, but they could not stop sneezing and coughing openly. And so I was like, oh, like I'm backing away from the I'm like, yeah, so do you want me to just go right over there? Do you want me to just walk around you and go back there? He's like, oh, the doctor's not ready yet. I was like, you can go first, dog. Like, if you, I mean, you're already here and you here all day, and like, I don't know, you're probably killing everybody, so if you want to go, that's supposed to be the benefit of working here, right? That you are already here in case you need to be here. And he was like, oh, don't worry, it's not COVID. And I was like, that wasn't my concern at all. I wasn't wondering if it was COVID. I was wondering why it was happening right now to you. Like, I want you to be well. That would be better for everybody in here because we all came sick. And if we all mix our sick together right now, I'm pretty sure we'll get a new thing. And I don't want that to happen. No, and then my man sent me back so the doctor could cough in my mouth. Everybody had it, whatever it was, everybody had it. But now, when you go to the emergency room, let's say that's closer than urgent care, and you're like, hey, you know what, I'll just go right now. And then you get in there, and even if you have a terrible migraine, when you look around an emergency room, it does make you self-conscious about your sickness. The same way where you like go to the gym for the first time in 8 years and you looking around at all the people who are like already swole. When you get to an emergency room and you're not that sick and then you just see people holding bullet wounds closed, you're like, you can go before me if you want. Like, and so it's all important stuff. It's hard for us to stay healthy because it's already hard for us to live. You have to do everything that it takes to like have a life, keep people alive if you've made people, and be healthy. And I don't know, maybe it's just the way that we work as a country, but we're so back and forth and 100% all the time. All gas, no brakes, all the time, always behind, fighting, trying to get back in black, fighting that red line, fighting that poverty line to the point where there are people who genuinely believe they don't have time. Oh, you could do this. This is the healthier thing to do. Oh, make some time for this. I don't have time, right? By the time I get home, I'm exhausted. I just want to sleep. Can I at least have sleep? And so it's tough, you know, even when it comes to eating, even when it comes to like what we know to eat to be healthy. It changes. And sometimes it changes because we find out something. And then sometimes it changes because a company is like, actually, there's a lot of money in kale. You remember kale? You remember that thing that we used to put at the bottom of every salad bar? You know, it used to be the floor of the salad bar. You would go to a Pizza Hut and there would be kale wrapped around the pizza. Not on the pizza, under the pizza. Just use kale as like foliage. And then one day somebody was like, hey, we growing all this kale. You ever taste some? You ever bite down to that kale? It's probably good for you. And then takes off, becomes a whole craze. I'm always blown away with food crazes of food that we've been eating. We've all been alive for a while now, but every year there will be some superfood that's a food we were already aware of. Remember when avocados had their day? Remember when avocado was like, no, your skin. And there's vitamins it's so good for you, your skin. Do you want more skin? Your skin. It's so good for you. See, you have extra skin under your skin. You'll be so healthy. You remember coconut oil. There was a year where coconut oil could do no wrong. They were like, no, put it on your skin. Lather yourself up at night. You'll just be so moisturized. Put it in your hair. It'll get all the dirty stuff out of your hair. It'll clear out your pores in the hair and everything. Get the hair follicle all nice and juicy and stuff. Eat it. Cook with it. It's so good. It'll be good it'll fix your skin from the inside. It'll be delicious and it'll fill it. Ooh, it'll be like all of your organs have new skin. And then somebody else came out with a study that was like, oh, actually don't do any of that. Like it's actually gonna fully clog your pores. It's gonna clog the pores of your hair. And if you eat it, it's gonna be like a little too loose in your heart while your heart's trying to pump blood. I don't know what they said, but they turned on it in a day. And you would think that all this stuff is happening because we're finding out all these things. But what's really happening is all of these narratives are competing at the same time. There are people who have a vested interest in you eating as much meat as possible. And then there are people who have a vested interest in you eating no meat at all. And I don't even mean on a political front. I'm not even talking about environmentalists versus like vegans versus people who have money in Big Cow. I'm talking about genuinely there are people who believe, for whatever reasons they've come to, that they've concluded that they believe this thing is good for you, this thing is bad for you, and then they put it out into the world. And because we have the internet, you could look up anything, and anything is as good for you as it is bad for you. And that is scary when you know at a medieval amount to keep yourself alive. I'm not claiming to be smarter than anybody, and I try to listen to experts, and I try to do my quote-unquote own research. It's a lot of reading. It's pretty boring. That's why I feel like I'm doing the right thing. But it's still tough to know. I'm not coming down on people for not knowing. I think it's mostly that if someone went to all the trouble to know, maybe that should mean something. I say this because RFK Jr. is the head of Health and Human Services. And if you're not familiar with RFK Jr., he has a very specific sound, very specific way of speaking and thinking, and he's on a real health kick as a whole personality, all right? And it's unfortunate that so much of that is what feels like riddled with internet. I've never seen someone so interested in health and the science of health without just getting into the science of health. Do you know what I mean? It would be like me knowing every stat that there is to know about basketball. But then when someone rolled me a ball or even tossed me a ball, maybe I'm playing my first pickup game of basketball. With all of this knowledge I supposedly have of the game, I know plays, I know players, I know stats, I know strategies, and then someone actually passes me the ball and I go, There are things that RFK Jr. has said and done. They don't just worry me. You know what I mean? They don't just like worry me. They actively go against, like, it's one thing if you have one theory. I let everybody be subversive about like one thing to me, because I'm like, all right, you might be right about this thing, who knows, let's investigate, right? When you have 90, nah, dog, this is bad. I don't even like repeating some of the things that he said, because it makes it, if I repeat it, I sound like I think it, because it takes me so long to explain what he thought that I sound like I think it too, and I would rather not. You know, during his confirmation hearing, he said a lot of things that didn't quite fall in line with what he had been saying before he was trying to get confirmed, you know? So he said a lot of the right things to go ahead and get confirmed. And look, he was probably gonna get confirmed no matter what. You know, there was a majority that was gonna push him through, most likely, no matter what he said. And then he gets in, and this is the most troubling thing to me about like RFK Jr. is that there are moments where he'll say something that is like, not only like not crazy, it's like the thing that everyone was hoping somebody would say. And then he'll quickly follow it up with a thing that no one has ever said. And you're like, oh, you had us for like a half second. You know, like, because RFK Jr. has talked about like trying to remove all the dyes out of the foods, like out of the candies and out of the like crackers, all the stuff like that, out of the chips. It's like, that's actually a good thing. That would be good. Everyone else already removed it. Like, these companies may be international, but when you go to Europe, it's a different chip. That's not, they don't, and that's specifically because Europe was like, we don't do that to our people. So you should, if you want to be here, you can change it, but you have to change it. It can't just be whatever you want it to be, right? And so when RFK Jr. says, like, I'm trying to get all these additives out of the food, all these dyes, all these things, it's like, oh, wow, that's great. That I like that. And then he's like, and we need a registry for autism. And you're like, oh! In what world? What are you doing? It's so deeply frustrating. You know? Because it's like, that the whole thing, the whole thing that is that is frustrating about it is that it is someone who, even in the face of experts, would rather not challenge those experts and prove them wrong to their face, just more talk to people who honestly and earnestly are trying to find out and don't know and lead them. You don't see him engaging in like real debate with a doctor who's made the thing their life, who's done the true research, and who's done it over time. I'm not saying science and doctors can never be wrong. I'm saying those are the people you should be having these spats with, instead of going on podcasts and convincing people who also didn't do the thing. They didn't make that their life's work, and then leading them down a path where we're not really sure how bad it could get. And this is in the midst of Doge and other things cutting jobs for like the National Health Institutes, you know, cutting jobs at the FDA, cutting jobs in all these places where we need these things. In fact, there have been rollbacks on things that help us prevent things in the future, on research for the future of what might be going on somewhere else, is what scientists are thinking about all the time, when this thing might happen. Right? And if you roll back on that, you won't see the effect right away. You may not even see it for a long time. But then when we are behind, because we used to be the leader And we're quickly losing our first place position in being who the world looks to figure out new illnesses, to figure out, even with old ones, we can still figure out vaccines. We can still figure out all of these different aspects of how to keep people healthy and alive. And when you roll them back in ways that seem like they don't matter, or at least you don't want to give attention to, the effects we won't know the widespread effect of it. You know, and I'm worried because RFK Jr. got in under this whole like make America healthy again attitude. This is sort of a mantra, right? And I understand that he's like a 70-year-old guy that bench presses. But I would like to, if I can, be healthier than RFK Jr. because he doesn't seem healthy. I haven't seen his blood work. I'm not saying I don't know, but he doesn't seem healthy because he does a lot of stuff that doesn't seem to lead to health. Long before he was ever confirmed for the head of Health and Human Services, there was a picture of RFK Jr., one of many, but there was a particular picture of RFK Jr. walking out of an airplane bathroom, barefoot. And when I saw it, I rebuked the picture. I was like, that will not be in my life. No, thank you. I'm not a doctor. I'm not even a scientist. But please wear some form of footwear into the airplane bathroom. You had shoes when you got on the plane. What happened? What happened between the seat and the bathroom that you were like, I gotta get these off? I'm too restrained. This man went swimming in a DC creek that's been known for I'm pretty sure decades, that place is nasty. It's so okay. It's so nasty that the place is nasty. It's so nasty that they have a sign saying, "We nasty. Don't swim here, it's nasty." And sure, it's like this flowing creek and everything, but it's been known for a long time that sewage leaks into that creek. And he hopped in with the same feet that he walked out of that airplane bathroom with. Hopped in feet first, probably didn't even dip his toe in, was like, yeah! Swimming in the creek with his grandchildren, I'm pretty sure. And his dog. You're the head of Health and Human Services. Do us the service of being a healthy human. This is so crazy that we're watching you. It would be like watching the Secretary of Defense play Russian roulette. It's like, so you're not gonna be here long then. Why would you do that? Don't do that. We want you to be alive. It's so frustrating. Man has a congressional hearing where they're asking him about his belief. They're asking him about things that he said since he's been confirmed and stuff. And this man basically says, don't take medical advice from me. There's a part of me that almost respects that. There's a part of me that almost respects that. Let me tell you why. Because I have been an hourly worker several times in my life. I've had lots of odd jobs that pay by the hour. I've had lots of I won't call them corporate, but just established corporation jobs that pay by the hour. And the problem with hourly work, whether you're talking about me or anyone I've ever interacted with, especially from a customer service perspective, the problem with hourly work is I'm not sure if we're meeting at the hour you care about this job. I may have caught you at a bad time at work. There's 4 types of hourly workers. There are the hourly workers who are like, they start off great, especially when we're talking customer service. You start off great. I was here. You start off great. You clock in, you got a good attitude, you're ready to go. Nothing's happened yet. And then, a few hours into dealing with the public, you have been beat down to a place of which you're not sure you can recover. And you're thinking about how this is Monday. So, my life, Then there's an hourly worker that really starts to perk up the last 2 hours of shift. They're almost home. They're almost out of here. They're smiling at you because they almost don't have to see you. We're almost through with each other. I'm so close. Let's bring it home strong. Then there's the hourly worker that genuinely loves their job. Then there's the hourly worker who hates their job so much that from clock in to clock out, they are here to make sure that you hate their job too. Right? And at different points in my life, I've been a couple of these different workers, Sometimes I had a job where I could clock in and then I was good attitude, good everything. And then people just, whether they're impatient or they're rude or they're nasty, they just beat you down and you try to not let the last interaction affect the next interaction. But after a while, you just get to the point where you just got that face, that almost like a 1,000-yard stare. And you're trying to do your job, but you just want to be like, and his leg was in his chest. And I've also been that person that's had that job that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to quit this job. I can't wait to get out of here. And you know what? The closest thing to quitting this job is clocking out of this job. I love clocking out so much. Sometimes I do it twice. I love clocking out. It's my favorite thing. Sometimes I actually worked a couple different jobs where back in the day you actually had the timesheet that did the and then shot the paper back up, and that was extra fun. I would watch it. I'd watch it in slow motion in my mind. I'd be like, yep, zip, zip, and zip, zip, and look at you marked and ready to go. I'm out of here. I'm leaving forever, just tonight, but forever. And then, admittedly, I did have jobs that I really loved. I really enjoyed clocking in and having a great time with my coworkers, and I enjoyed the job that I was doing. And even if it was like something to do with the public, you have your jerks once in a while, but for the most part, it was phenomenal. And I got great experiences out of it, and I'd clock out, I'd go home, I'd start again the next day. And then I had jobs where I was like, oh, okay. I don't want anybody to hate their life, but they're gonna know I hate mine. And there's something in the spirit of an hourly worker that's in the middle of doing their job that's like, oh, don't do what I do. That is what I heard at that hearing. Guys, don't follow my advice. I don't know. I be saying stuff. No. No, it's tough because it's hard to know that everyone has different levels of access and different levels of knowledge on how to keep ourselves healthy. And when you have things getting rolled back, like EPA regulations, FDA regulations, when you have people looking out less and less for the quality of drinking water, when you have people looking out less and less for what the next potential virus might be, you get yourself into some real trouble. And then they kick it back to us. They kick it back to us every time. They roll that thing back. They fire those people. Those people who, I'm not going to say every single person loved their job, but they roll things back to the point where now more people have more burden on them and less support to try to get us to where we need to be, at least on a basic level of health. And they're like, but it's up to you. You know, Dr. Oz came on and he was like, the best way to be healthy is to be healthy. And I was like, oh, do you have financial advice too? Because that's incredibly solid right there. The best way to not need these services is to not need these services. And it's like, okay, but you gotta remember, you're dealing with people who have varying levels of knowledge around what is and isn't healthy. My hometown has a bit of a meth problem. And a real conversation that I overheard at a bus stop was, no, they getting on to me and on to me and on to me because I'm smoking meth. But it's not like it's crystal meth. And not only me as a bystander, but the person they were talking to seemed to also be on meth. Said, what do you mean it's not crystal meth? And he goes, it's regular meth. And so then the other person on meth was like, no, it's all meth. Crystal's not the deluxe. It's not like Crystal Pepsi, you know what I mean? It's all generally meth. There's not a diet meth. Meth is the diet meth. I haven't eaten in some time. Because we are a huge country. And it's when you travel, you realize how big this country really is. And it's a lot of people to try to keep healthy, try to make healthy, you know? And so you want people of the absolute highest caliber, knowledge and character to be in positions that affect your health. And I just don't think RFK Jr. is that, you know? And there's all these things. There's plenty of things that you can watch and plenty of breakdowns people have done on his ideas and his theories about health and everything, and the things that he says that fall into the lane of conspiracy and the things that he says that fall into the lane of like homeopathic cures and stuff. And I'm just saying there's a certain way that you talk about people that lets me know what you think about people, how you feel about people, right? And while maybe from his perspective seeming compassionate or seeming understanding, the way I've heard him talk about people, especially people with autism, but people with any sort of different ability or way of life, and talk about it in terms that just seem so like stark and dismissive of the individual themselves in these broad brushstrokes, and then try to later come back and be like, oh, I was only talking about a quarter of, you know, as if that's better. You know, it makes me feel like this is not the individual that should be in that position. And that's not just because he swims in sewage. It's because like actual sewage is spilling out of his mouth every time he talks. You know? But yeah, maybe he can get the food additives out. I don't know. Like this. You know? That's just, I don't know. That's what's so frustrating to me about RFK Jr. It's like half of what people applaud him for even saying we should do or that he's trying to do is just a bunch of stuff Michelle Obama was trying to do. Like, remember when Michelle Obama was like, how about a carrot? You remember that? Remember when Michelle Obama was like, just try an apple. And people were like, why do you hate America? No, it's super frustrating. You know, I get frustrated all the time. I can't imagine if you are, a parent of a child with autism and you're listening to RFK Jr. talk, or if you're someone who's an actual health specialist and you're listening to RFK Jr. talk, or if you are the person who, in my opinion, deserves to be the angriest, Michelle Obama, listening to RFK Jr. talk. You know, she probably is pointing at the TV doing the DiCaprio meme. Like, that's what I just want you to try an apple. You know, that's my thing. That's really where we screwed up. You know, we do all this stuff when it comes to healthcare to make it inaccessible, right? So there's all these things that you have these premiums, you have these deductibles, you have all these different things that we understand are to keep us away from the healthcare. But then when it comes to the vaccines, when it comes to, you know, the treatments, I think we're too eager to give it to people. We should actually hold it back and make it seem like, I don't know. I don't know, it's all the way over here. Do you really want to come over here and get it? Like, I don't know. You know, because I had a conversation with a friend that enlightened me a little bit in kind of that route of thinking. He was a new parent, and he was like, look, I'm not a doctor. I recognize that I don't know the science or anything, but I'm seeing all this stuff on social and on TV about like giving my kids vaccines, but I'm also talking to my doctor who's telling me to give my kids vaccines, and he's like, I don't know what to do, and I'm really scared about what I should do, right? And I was like, okay, like I hear what you're saying. And then he said, I just feel horrible if I gave my kid something and it made them sick or sicker. And I was like, okay, I understand what you're saying. And then I asked him, I was like, let's just go back in time for a second and just pretend that the vaccine that the doctor's trying to give you just doesn't even exist. And your kid was sick. Would you want it then? Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that as some sort of got you. I'm saying that when we're sick, we go to the hospital. When you're sick or someone you love is sick, you want a doctor immediately. All this like just asking questions, going back and forth, trying to dunk on doctors, trying to dunk on experts, it's always done from a place of like actually being okay right now. When you're actually in a hospital bed, you're like, do whatever. I'm coughing up blood. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that to say that I don't have empathy for people who have questions or people who are unsure, people who are scared. That's where I think a lot of like humanity gets lost in the conversation. When some people are just like, I don't know what to do. I'm genuinely afraid of what I should do next because there's all this stuff out here. Just like with the food, just like with the treatments. For everything, there's a thing for it and against it. And it depends on when it comes up in your feed. It depends on how you search. It depends on how you type it into ChatGPT. And so it's hard to know, to really know. Right? And so I try to not just have patience, but have empathy for people who are genuinely unsure. But you saw it. You saw it in COVID. People were yelling to the rooftops, I'm not wearing a mask, I'm not doing this. Look, live your life. But then at the third cough, they did go to the people who told them to do all that stuff. And I'm just saying, like, I don't know, if you trust them now, if you trust them when it's bad, why not trust them a little early? You know what I mean? And I just want to make it clear, like, my big gripe with RFK Jr. is that he doesn't have these debates and he doesn't have these knockdown, drag-out fights and arguments about the science and about where he's coming from and how he has his logic and how he came to these conclusions with experts who are well-versed in the science and in the medicine. It's always done in like a podcasty type of way. And now that people's real lives are at stake, I just think that's unacceptable. Like, I don't know how we're so willing to give this much. Like, I know we're not, but just, I don't know, when you look back and you compare it as a country, Michelle Obama was like, just eat the apple. Like, it'll help.
Give it up for Josh Johnson!
Before I came here in San Francisco, there was a pirate. No, it gets worse. There was a pirate threatening a tourist from Brazil with a blowtorch, right? Which, as a pirate, you really shouldn't even have, because you're supposed to be on boats, you're supposed to be around a lot of wood. You shouldn't even have a blowtorch. That's not even a useful weapon for you, right? It should have been a sword. It should have been like a flint pistol, something. That would have made sense. If he had a flint pistol and he pulled it on him, even in the streets of San Francisco, I'd be like, he's on theme. But a full-on blowtorch, how, right? And when I tell you that this man was a pirate, I don't just mean that he was dressed like a pirate. I think he was a pirate. Like, I think he didn't seem like land was treating him well, okay? And so now he has a blowtorch, right? And he's cursing out this person who apparently is this tourist from Brazil, which also, if you're a tourist, I'm not saying don't go to San Francisco, but I'm saying if you are an international tourist coming to the United States, especially for the first time, and the first thing that happens when you get here is a pirate, roll up on you with a blowtorch, which in any language is confusing, by the way. Like, you don't need to be speaking English to understand that this is a wild scenario that's happening right now, right? And so, they're over here arguing. Now, the person who really saved the day was someone that worked at a coffee shop that saw what was happening outside, right? And so then they ran up and they were sneaking up behind the pirate, right? Getting real. Yeah, and it was one of those sneak ups where I was like, oh, if he turned around, you cooked. Like, if he turned around, because he was quick with it, but he was very smooth with all his movements. But it took him a while to like get close, right? Like, he was. You know what it looked like to me? Okay, like when you go to the zoo and something went wrong, and so then one of the zookeepers like trying to get them back in the cage. Or they trying to like let them know that kid in front of you, that's not food, but they getting close real slow, like they're just like. Okay, buddy. All right. It's because you know what it is? You can tell the level of danger somebody knows they're in as they're approaching by the hip movement. Because he wasn't just walking up he really was pivoting as he was getting in. He was like, all right. Okay, all right. It feels like if you use hips only to move forward, nobody will hear you. It's like almost a universal thing when people try to sneak up, That's why you don't see, that's not how your grandparents sneak up or whatever. Because if they tried it, if your grandma tried to sneak up behind you real good and everything, you just be hearing. So she's like, I'm gonna have to lean, right? But anyway, this dude is sneaking up behind him, getting real close, and in an instant, snatches the blowtorch and runs off, right? So now we've sort of neutralized the main threat. But the pirate was like, you think I need that blowtorch? I'm a pirate in San Francisco. On the streets in 2024, I don't need weapons. My presence alone is a threat. And so then somebody's filming the whole thing, which normally I'm like, why do people do this? Why do people film instead of help? You know what I mean? Why do people just from afar and then they're filming and this is another person who could have been helping because that guy's sneaking up by himself. He's just, you know what I mean? But then, as someone who watches all the videos, I do get it. I do. You want to criticize it, but if it wasn't for this guy filming, I wouldn't know this was happening. This didn't make the news. It's just regular San Francisco 5 p.m., right? So then, sneaking up, snatches the blowtorch, runs off, right? Now, as he's running off, this was almost cinematic. You couldn't have planned this better. Because as the coffee shop worker who was running off with the blowtorch passes the camera, right as his head passes the camera, you see that the pirate had already started punching, right? So it was just boom like that, right? Now this guy tries to roll with it, and he had good form, especially for a tourist that is being approached by a pirate. I would have just been hit. I would have just been I don't think I would have moved. This dude really rolled with the punch. Now this is when the two nudists come into the picture, right? Because there were some nudists that were there anyway. They were gonna be naked no matter what. So when the two nudists come up, they're like, this is what we do. We didn't get, because a part of you, if you don't know anything about the culture, you thinking they see a pirate, they're like, it must be safe to get naked. They just let you do whatever you want. So they were naked anyway, right? So then one of the nudists sees what just happened, sees that this tourist has been assaulted by this pirate. So then he run up and come in with it was really beautiful sequence, because basically the pirate was like, bow, right? And then the nudist comes up and it's like, bow. And then when the nudist swings, so the nudist hit so hard that he did lose his footing, right? So then him and the pirate both fall. And now this is the first point in time where the pirate looks like somebody in this scenario is more uncomfortable than me, right? Because you see, so the pirate punches that dude and he's clearly having his own journey, right? But what snaps him back to reality in a moment's time is not only being hit by the nudist, but when they both fall, you can see the pirate. So the pirate his back is to the camera and you can't really hear him, but you can hear this little and then him and the nudist are getting up. Now, if you think, I try to put myself in the mindset of everybody involved in the video, right? Because there's a lot going on, We already got this hero who snatched the blowtorch. Now, this person, we don't know how long they've lived in San Francisco. We don't know how long they worked at the cop shop. We don't know how long they've known this pirate, right? But the way they sprung into action, you could tell it was like, I have to do something, right? They took it upon themselves. Now, as the tourist, I've already mentioned, you being accosted by this pirate, that's weird enough to make a person freeze, right? But for a second, I want all of us to put ourselves in the mind of the pirate, all right? Because the pirate, we don't know exactly what was going through this individual's mind, but we know it was something to do with maybe this tourist, maybe he thinks this tourist stole some of his booty, maybe he thinks, maybe the tourist is standing on the X that he's trying to dig right now. We don't know what's going through his mind, okay? All we know is that he feels emboldened enough and passionate enough to start swinging. And as soon as he starts swinging, he gets a right cross from out of nowhere. He doesn't know anybody else is in this situation with him except this guy. And so then he gets his right cross, so he fall, and then the person that hit him also fall. And then when he looks forward, he sees a naked man. So you can see, even on the pirate, like, oh, I didn't sign up for this. This is too much. Wouldn't that be funny if the pirate was like, I'm a Christian, I don't really... But the pirate is also like getting up and everything. Now, the nudist was fast. So the nudist got up before the pirate really knew what happened, because you could tell the pirate calibrating. Like, when did he get naked? Was he always naked behind me? You could tell the pirate got other stuff on his mind. So he tried to get up, but he's also like, when did this guy... And so then the nudist gets up, and the nudist tries to get another lick in before the pirate can get up, because to be fair to everybody involved, you don't know how quick and strong this pirate is, right? Like, is this a PCP pirate? Or is this a meth pirate? Or is this a crack pirate? We don't know. There are categories. And we don't know which one he falls into. You got your first lucky shot on him, and that didn't knock him out, so now you're in trouble, right? So the nudist gets up quick, and when the nudist, okay, he goes to do this thing that you really only see happen in like bus fights, where the pirate's still on the ground, and he tries to do a little like, pow, like he tries to do like an uppercut as he's getting up, and I think he misses. He either missed or it didn't faze the pirate at all. He probably got hit and was still like, where did this guy come from? Because also the nudists were white. And so it's on top of seeing a naked man, you just seeing like, you seeing shades of pink coming at you. Because you got to remember, this dude is ready to fight. So you're not in a regular fight with another dude. Like, also, by the way, I'm pretty sure if I remember the video correctly, the tourist has not left, but he has taken... He's taking the position of an audience member. He just like, man, it's crazy. And so then the pirate tries to get that extra lick in, and I think he missed and everything. And then the pirate, they have a couple more little scuffles, because you can tell that the pirate trying to like fight, but he's not trying to get too close. Which is, look, as far as a tactic, because there's a lot that people don't know about martial arts. There's a lot people don't know about self-defense. And it didn't occur to me until I saw that video that man to man, for real, like if you ever in a fight and you don't really want to fight, and you know your opponent doesn't have a gun, right? It's just man on man, fisticuffs, right? It would help to get naked. I think the level to which somebody want to fight you goes down the more naked you get. You know what I mean? like if we have like you bigger than me, if we have problems right now and you coming at me, but I'm just like that switches things up for you, because now you like, what am I gonna punch? Like, am I gonna? Because even if you win and you don't really want to, even if you punching, you just don't really want the risk of touching balls like that. Like if you, because let's say we going head body, but then I go high and you go low, and now all of a sudden my whole knuckles get grazed. But you see, y'all groaning, but I'm right. You don't want to fight now. Next time somebody try you in the street, fellas, just start. Because dudes already take their shirt off. The problem is they not stopping. That's the problem. They not stopping the whole fight by just taking the rest off. Because the shirt is like, you're not going to be that encumbered by the shirt, right? Might as well drop the pants. Yeah. Even take the shoes off. Really confuse them, right? And so you can tell that the pirate really doesn't want to like fully get in there. And so the whole thing starts to just fall apart. And the whole time I was thinking like, wow. I was trying to once again put myself in the mindset of everybody involved. Like we went through what the tourist must have been thinking, what the pirate must have been thinking. Even the nudist. Nudist had to have something going on in his head to be like, I have to help. This guy is a blowtorch. And even though somebody just took it from, he's clearly trying to attack this person. He just attacked this person. I need to do something, right? I should call somebody. But you don't have any pockets. I wonder if he reached for it too. Like, we need to get the police. I guess it's me then. Then he ran in like a Superman with his balls out, right? But what I really can't shake is what must have been going on in that second nudist mind. Because both nudists, they were together, by the way. I don't want you to think in the story there was one nudist and then another nudist. They knew each other, right? Maybe they were just walking, enjoying a day, sunning. And then they see all this yelling going on. What was that? What could be happening? And then they see this guy has a blowtorch to his side. They're like, oh, I hope he doesn't intend to use it. And then, they see this guy strike, and then, first nudist just jumps in, starts swinging. Doesn't really have his footing right, doesn't really have his hands ready, but he's trying. That second nudist must have been like, damn, I think they got it. Like, I think they good, you know what I mean? I do like how, I'm not saying they waited in a way that, I don't mean this person was being courageous for stepping in, but I do understand the self-preservation that takes place where you wait to jump in till that blowtorch is gone, because I'm naked. That blowtorch might burn that tourist, but it would change my life. Yeah. No, it's wild stuff. Oh, I also want to say real quick, thank y'all so much for coming to the show. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for an amazing weekend and everything. I don't know, when y'all might have seen me for the first time or anything, or what maybe video it was. I've been posting to YouTube for like a year now, and I started it a year ago where I was just like, just sharing like my thoughts on things, sharing my jokes, feelings on stuff, and I appreciate it because it really, I don't know, that was the thing that really turned everything around, and I got to, in some ways, like meet you, and now I'm getting to meet you for real, and I appreciate this opportunity, because it's like, I don't know when you may have seen your first video, or if you even know who I am. You might be like, she brought me. Like, that's also very fair. I will not be offended at all, right? But I appreciate you, for real. I appreciate you taking a chance on me and coming here to have a good time and letting me talk to you and everything. I've done lots of shows that were not. I've done shows where they didn't know I was coming, right? I've done shows where they booked me to do the show, and then I show up and they're like, oh, we also gonna play the Blackhawks game behind you. And I'm like, oh, does anybody want a show? He's like, no, it's a surprise. Don't surprise. So I've definitely done shows that were, on the rough side, because people weren't there to hear what I was gonna say. And I get it. I do get it. That's why I don't take anything lightly, that I get to be here in front of you. And everything that I say, I'm not always going to be perfect, but I try to be thoughtful about what I'm saying, And I think sometimes when you bring something up, because you do comedy, people think whatever you bring up, you're making light of to trash it, or that's why sometimes people get uncomfortable when you talk about anything and you're a comic. They're like, oh, this person's going to be shitty, right? They're going to be shitty about a thing that I care about. And just because I'm talking about something doesn't mean I'm belittling it, right? Like there's a lot of stuff that I take very seriously, but I still feel like I need to talk about, because conversation is important, And oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks. We'll see. It's been a scary day, It has. It's like, I hope you're not finding out from me. But someone at a rally, someone. Don't do that. I'm just telling you what happened. At a rally, someone shot at Trump while he was doing his rally. And I still don't know. There's so much we don't know. But some people say it was a bullet, and some people say it was glass. But either way, he got a cut over his ear, and the person that was behind him got shot, and they died. Right? And they've apparently shot the suspected gunman and everything, and it's just it's one of the wildest days in a long time, because there are days that are like checkpoints throughout American history. Like we had a birth as a country, and then you can set the checkpoints wherever you want, but there are big ones. There are big ones like the country starts, and then there's a civil war later, right? And the Civil War is a turning point for the country forever. You know what I mean? There are people that even now say we're more divided than ever, and I like to remind them that we did have a civil war. Yeah, you know what I mean? Then ever, then you need to read a history book. Then ever. Ever? No, not ever. So you have something like the turning point that happens due to a civil war, which even now, even to this day, hundreds of years, there are people that are hundreds of years removed from the people leading up to the civil war that were in their family, that they still have differing opinions on the Civil War, why it happened, how it went down, what should have happened, right? And then you have Lincoln's assassination. That's another turning point for the country forever, right? Because once things are put on the table with time, they're never taken off. There's always something that could happen, And then you fast forward more, and we've had turning points. We've had really scary days.
And people can belittle it as much as they want or whatever, but we've had times where we're like, oh, are we a country anymore? And so you see those moments like that, right? And there are people who are even now, they're afraid, right? They're afraid that there's going to be another version of the Civil War, right? Because the people that hate people so much throughout this country for whatever political affiliation for whatever they say. This is the thing about being online as well. When you go around, I go everywhere. I try to go everywhere. And I'm trying to meet people everywhere. And when I meet these people, almost all the people, and some of them are having a bad day, some of them have had a past, but most people, pretty pleasant, right? It's easy to forget that online. Because online, people have the safety to be a troll, and there's also bots. So you could go through your life and bump into people all day and have nothing but beautiful experiences. But then you get online and you post a picture of yourself because you're happy about, maybe something that you bought and you look good in. And there's all the comments under it. Why are you wearing that skirt, bitch? It's like that is happening in real life, but that is not real life. Right? The people that you meet in person are real life. The people that you meet every day, that's real life, right? So I'm not saying it's real life as in it doesn't matter. I'm specifically saying that like the grace that you give in person is that's our better nature. That's what we would hopefully have all the time. It's being online that makes people monsters to you before you meet them. You look at those pinpoints, and there are people that are worried about us falling into the trap of another civil war, like so much hate, right? And I personally don't think that's going to happen. I'm not just hopeful. I actually don't think that's going to happen because if I'm being honest with everyone in here, we don't have the grit. I'm not saying that there aren't people with guns. I'm not saying that people have murderous intentions for their fellow Americans. I'm saying that as a country, we would get tired too fast. We would. Like it would be day 8 and there'd be people in America wake up on whatever side you on being like, again? No, I'm not saying that violence is impossible, and I pray it doesn't happen. I pray even more now that it doesn't happen than I did before, but I think that it's not going to split up the way that it did. You got to remember, the country was full of colonies, and travel was difficult. So when the country split and we had our full-on civil war, it was a different time truly, right? And now you have family that lives here, you have family that lives over there, you have family who's moving. Because we're too interconnected now in a way that I think is good, in a way that actually forms a union, right? We're quilted together now. So no matter how you split us up, whether it's north and south, east and west, eventually, whatever side of the war you're on, eventually someone would be like, I just want a good taco. I believe what I believe in, whatever, but I cannot have another bagel. I am stopped up. For my health, I can't do it. And we don't know anything yet. Like we really don't. Everyone's talking, right? It just happened. So everybody is talking, It happened like 6 hours ago and everybody's talking, everybody's speculating. There's already the conspiracy theories, there's already like some vitriol started. We don't know, and we can't act like we know just because we feel a lot, right? Because this is the other thing. You talk about pinpoints in time, you talk about checkpoints. Civil War then leads to Lincoln's assassination. That's another checkpoint that we cannot come back from, because once things are on the table, they're on the table for the rest of time. That's why you have to be careful what you say and what you do, you know? And so then you fast forward even more. It makes me think about the assassination attempt on Reagan. Because Reagan, you know, Reagan still is one of those figures that's like either beloved or absolutely despised, right? The policies they put forward and the aftermath afterward, you know, people feel how they feel about it, right? But when you think about that person that shot Reagan, right? We were in a different time of division back then. It was still pretty, you know, relatively civil, relatively ideal by today's standards, right? But let's say we had lost our minds then and been like, oh, this is a plot. This is an inside job. This is a conspiracy. Let's say we lost our minds when Reagan got shot and then you actually talk to the shooter and then you find out why he did. He's like, oh, I just wanted Jodie Foster to like me. Imagine that, though. Imagine if we had lost our minds. Imagine if we had had some sort of civil war, some sort of backlash, some sort of retribution over here, all for somebody who's like, did Jodie Foster see it, or just trying to find out what Jodie doing? That's my thing. That's my sincere hope, right? I'm hopeful, and I hope you know that I pray for all of you. I pray for all of us, like I do. And even if you don't subscribe to whatever metaphysical subscription you hold, right? You know, because at the end of the day, we really are all Americans. I know it doesn't feel that way. But every one of us, just by the reaction that y'all had when I told you that somebody died, you know that we all still have our humanity. We don't want to see anything bad actually happen to anybody. Because you don't know that person. You don't know anything about the person that died today. But you know that they were an American. And you know they were a human being, right? And so I think that what I've decided when it happened, and I can only speak for me, I'm not going to tell you what to do. No matter anyone listening to me, you can do what you want. But when I saw it happen, I decided in that moment that this right here is where I'm going to plant my feet, right? I'm not going to let this make me radical one way or the other. I'm not going to lose my mind because we don't know. And two, the humanity we show to each other just in passing, that's really important. And honestly, all this is going to be funny again in a minute. I haven't forgotten. Like I didn't forget. Like I wasn't like, let me get him with the yuck yucks and now lock the door. Like I just hope, like my sincere hope is that this can be the thing that like scares us straight. You know what I mean? Like this can be the thing. It's like, oh, actually, you know what? I don't actually want any violence. I don't want anything bad to happen. You know what I mean? Because they're snowballs, right? So I just, you know, I think about that, and I think about, if you're not familiar with the show Scared Straight, basically what they do is they take kids, right? Then kids who are pretty bad, right? They're like bad kids, and then and the kids are very hard to root for because by the beginning of the episode, they're always like, I punched my grandma in her face, right? And then they take them to jail and they spend a weekend at jail, because it really just takes a weekend. They spend a weekend at jail with the inmates, and then they try to do what they do at home with the inmates. Like, I punched my grandma in the face, and then one of the inmates is like, kiss me. And it's just, it changes, right? It changes the vibe. And I'm not saying it works for every kid, by the way. I'm not saying that this is a foolproof thing. We can talk about child psychology however you want, but I'm saying for the kids that it does work for, it was actually something bad happening that woke them up, right? It wasn't just me coming to my senses one day. It was like, this is rock bottom. You know? You don't just wait for rock bottom. You don't just try to fall until you find it. You can decide it for yourself. This feels like granite. I think I'll stop here, right? But I also know that, like, sometimes if you don't say anything, if the thing goes unsaid, people think it goes unthought, right? And if you don't reach out to people, people don't know you care about them. I care truly, and people are gonna feel the way they feel about me or feel about me talking about this, but I care about every single American in a serious way. We're a country, and we're a country of people that are different. We're a family of people that sometimes hate each other. That's what family does most of the time. I went and got a dentist through unconventional means. Basically, my dentist was handing out coupons. You know the little door knocker coupons that they put on the doorknob? Okay, so my dentist had been putting those on the doors in my neighborhood, and so I came home one day and I grabbed it and came inside. It was that and 2 pizza coupons, and I was reading it. I really don't even remember what the deals were, but this is when everybody was trying to make everything a coupon, like in 2013, 14, when everybody was like Groupon was big and all this stuff like that. Like, I don't remember what the deals were, but it was like 2 teeth get 1 free. Whatever it was, I don't remember. All I remember is there was a teeth cleaning on there. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go get my teeth cleaned at my new dentist, because if this dentist has coupons, this is the dentist for me. I have no money. And I didn't have like dental or anything, so I was like, I need any break I can get. Now, I went there, and the dental assistant was very professional. She was very good, and that's my thing, is that any professional of any type, you want them to be confident in their competence, right? Like, you want that's why you lean on them, because they look like they know what they're doing, and they have the confidence in somebody that knows what they're doing. So you just leave it to them, right? If there's any point where you have to question that, it ruins the whole. Like, I've been on the bus before where the bus driver looked lost. And I'm sitting, I'm like, why is he checking his phone? Like, but I'm in this dentist office. The dental assistant is amazing, and she's very quick, and she's asking me the questions. They even do the X-ray of my teeth, where they put the thing in their mouth. They're like, doo, 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 doo. That's your teeth, right? Like, she did all that stuff, and then my dentist comes in, and my new dentist, walks in. And he is very clearly missing a tooth. And it's not like a wide smile, back of the mouth chewing tooth. This is one of the stars of the show. This is one of the teeth that when you smile goes like, ba-da, like it's. And so he missed, I don't know how to describe this, but he missing the tooth hard. Like, he might as well be missing 2 teeth the way he missing this tooth, because it's not a center tooth, but it's one of those teeth where, because it's missing, I don't know how big it should be, so it feel like he missing the whole front row. Like, it's very distracting, right? And so then he come in, and I don't know if it was recent that he lost his tooth or something, but the space in relation to his tongue is causing some slippage, and it's making him lisp, right? And so he walks in, and he's like, "Hi, how are you? Have a seat." Because I stood up to shake his hand and everything. He's like, "Yeah, have a seat." And I'm like, And then this dude is like, so he's sitting next to me, right? And he's talking and he's asking me all the questions. And then it's like, how much do you floss? And this, so I was getting upset in the chair because, you know, he's asking me, how much do you floss? And I'm like, oh, I floss every day. He's like, are you sore? And I'm like, I got so upset. I didn't say this out loud. I said it in my head, but I was like, okay, but which one of us is missing? You know what I mean? Like, how dare you question what I'm doing over here when I'm working with a full set? You know what I mean? Like that. That's wild. Are you Thor? Like, I was like, that's unacceptable. Because he was getting snippy with it, which I didn't like. That's attitude, right? And so then I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. And then I don't like how he's going about it, because you know how the dentist will, sometimes the dental assistant will do it, but sometimes the dentist specifically will go through with the floss again and go over the dental assistant's work, if they didn't feel like they did it right. And then he was grabbing all the tools, you know, like the little sharp, little poke, the tools of the devil, right? He was grabbing all of them and he was in my mouth and everything. And I don't know how to describe this, but I don't like, he being rough with my mouth, you know what I mean? And he being rough in a way that's like, you know, like when you driving and somebody got a beat up car, so they driving reckless because they don't care. They don't care anymore what happens to their car, so they might as well bust up your car because their car's already doomed, right? And you'll see it'll be like a busted tail light and just no bumper at all, and they taking some real risks without turning lights on, right? They won't have that blinker on at all. They just be picking whatever lane they want because they're like, hit me, I dare you, right? Hit me. You might knock something back right. You'll be doing me a favor. Go ahead and hit me, okay? And so that's how he's being in my mouth, because he's really like going hard, and then he gets to the tooth on me that he missing, and he really give it up. And I'm like, that's not okay, you know? Just because it's over for you doesn't mean, like I still have a future, you know what I mean? Like, how dare you do that? And so then, you know, I don't know if it's because I'm young and I'm just like not really thinking, or because I'm awkward at a lot of social situations anyway, but finally I was just like, so what happened? And then this man had the nerve to go, what, this? What else could I mean, sir? No, there's something on your lip. No. He's like, oh, this? I was like, yeah. And then he takes the tools out, you know, the little hose that they have in your mouth, and sucking up all. Puts that to the side, puts the tools down, puts his hands on his knees, and goes. Got sullen, right? I felt bad for asking. He got really quiet and sullen. He was like, I hoped you wouldn't notice. Sir, you came in here teeth first. Smiling in my face, and you thought I wouldn't notice one of the main teeth. Rude. I can't stress this enough. Like, it was one of the teeth that if he committed a crime, that would be how they got him. Like, that's... Do you know what I mean? Like if he stole something tonight, they'd be like, it was this one that was... You know what I mean? Didn't even have a gold tooth in there. Didn't even have something to be like, oh, I'm a different type of dentist, right? It didn't... Just avoid. And it was big enough I could see through, like I could see his throat. Like it was... He got sullen and he was like, it's It's actually recent. I was out with some friends. And this is my thing. Okay, like, I know he telling me the story because it wasn't even my business, so he didn't have to tell me anything. So I know he's doing me a favor by telling me the story, but I swear to you, this man hit every S possible in this story. He didn't avoid any of them. I was like, what are you doing right now? Bro, every single S? That's crazy. So he's like, so I was at Buffalo Wild Wings. I was out with some friends, and we were watching the sports on the little sports center they have with all the TVs and everything. There was one of my friends that I hadn't seen in a very long time from college. It was very serendipitous, and I was like, that... Don't do that. You didn't need that one at all. That was... You could have said fortunate. And so then, you know, we're sitting there, and you know, I was having a good old time. I was sucking the sauce off my fingers and everything. And then there were some guys a few booths away that I would start jawing at one of my friends. I guess they knew him from his past or something. And so then they would start talking, you know, over at us. And so then, you know, we went over there, and you know, they were out here talking shit. And it's like truly some of the most Chicago shit I've ever heard in my life, because these like out here talking shit, and then, you know, I went ahead and I popped one in their mouth, and then he popped me right back, and I swallowed, so that's why I'm missing the tooth, and I heard that, and I was like, oh, is that all? Okay, go ahead. Go back to work. You a good dentist. You just not a good fighter. I get you. Okay. Yeah. Maybe next time, let them talk, you know? Welcome to the Josh Johnson Show. I'm Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host, fellow stand-up comedian Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Did I tell you about West Nyack?
West Nyack?
Yeah, West Nyack.
Oh, yeah, that was some shows you had recently, right?
Yeah, okay.
No, we haven't talked about that. Honestly, though, you said Nyack, and there's a community college in town here called Nyack. I'm like, did you do a show at Nyack and you didn't have me?
No, that would be wild if I came to you.
To where I live.
That's the one time
you didn't even let me know.
I'm sorry, man. I got to be in and out. My bad. That would be crazy. No, I was doing a club that's in West Nyack, and
yeah.
Okay, so it's in the mall, right?
Okay,
and I had a day at this mall, so like the show was fun. The show went well and everything.
Yeah,
but I don't know what I was thinking as far as when I should get in. So in my head, I'm like, let me go ahead and get in hella early, so I don't have to worry about traffic. I don't have to worry about cutting it close, like people waiting on me or anything. So then I picked a bus that was just far too early. Like even though West Nyack is like technically, it's technically upstate-ish New York.
Okay, it's still in New York?
It's still in New York, and it's only like an hour from the city.
Okay.
So hour and a half from the city. Gotcha. But for whatever reason, I'm thinking like, you know, Albany in my head. Like no one, I didn't look at a map. No one told me to be this early, but I'm so early. I'm like maybe 4 hours early for the show when I get there, right?
Oh, geez.
And so now I'm just walking around the mall
because it's much bigger than I thought. I thought the thing was one floor. And then I got to the balcony and looked down, and just it was forever. Like it was like 4 floors of mall. And so they had go-karts again, right?
There we go.
And as I'm walking up, because in my head I'm like, what should I do first? Because I had my backpack with me as well, because I decided to just spend the night at the hotel they provided rather than try to figure out how to get home that late at night after the show.
Yeah.
And
that'd
so
be a whole thing.
I went ahead. I'm just walking through the mall, taking stock of like what shops they have, what food, what entertainment, like just getting a full briefing. Because for whatever reason, I didn't look any of this up ahead of time. I genuinely was like, this is all Googleable, and I was just like, nah, I'll see it when I get there.
I like that he's being like, for some reason, this is also a very Josh thing to do.
But like, maybe I just wanted to be surprised. I have no idea. So then I
want to give myself a little treat.
Yeah, I just want to be surprised. I haven't been in a mall in so long. The last mall I was at was the one with that security guard, that whole thing that we talked about episodes ago. So
yeah, that was last year. That was last summer when you were at Acme.
Yeah, so I've not been in a mall in quite a while, and so I like malls. We've talked about this as well. I like malls.
We did a whole episode on malls. Yeah.
So this mall is really great. It really is. It's really like chock full of stuff to do on top of lots of shops,
Yeah.
So it's not just shopping and then I guess we'll eat at the food court and then just sit and be sick and leave.
Can you move your mic a little closer to your mouth?
Yeah. Yeah, is that better?
Yeah, a little bit. It just, you sound so like distant though still.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, there we go. There, that sounds better.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe your gain's really turned down or something.
Maybe I twisted it wrong. And so
oh, you know what? I wonder if the mic is facing.
Oh, you're right. You're right. 1 second. Yeah.
That's way better.
Okay. So this is good now.
Yeah, there we go. Now
okay. I really should have just. Should I restart the whole episode? Or?
No. That's fine. We'll leave it in.
Anyway,
you can still hear it.
So then I'm walking around the mall and I'm taking stock of what's on each floor. So that way I can just, by the time I get to the first floor, really plan out the perfect mall day, Because this mall has an AMC. It's got go-kart racing. It's got axe throwing. It's got a little like obstacle course in it. It's got VR, all this stuff. And so, I mean, honestly,
this sounds like you're a mall, man. This actually sounds like a perfect mall for you to be in for 4 hours.
We should actually go back because it's like you would be surprised how fun it is in there. It's just I had a day anyway.
Okay, next time I'm in New York, we'll take a trip upstate.
The only thing that made the experience horrible is that I was alone because then you needed another person to do so many things.
Right.
Anyway,
Joshy the mall rat.
I get over to the go-karts and as I'm walking up, and it says go-karts up to 50 miles per hour. Speeds up to, so they're like
inside?
Inside. Okay.
Holy shit.
I'm walking up and let me see if I can find it. I'll send this to you right now. I didn't get a good enough one, but I took a picture. I felt bad taking a picture because I wasn't sure if this person was let me see. So I'm walking up. I'm walking up to the track and you can hear them, like you can hear it whizzing. Like you can hear the, like they sound like outside, inside, okay? Here it comes, 1 second. Okay, so you'll have to zoom in here. But I took a picture. When I'm walking up to the go-karts, there is a loud, like when I say loud, I'm talking about like you hear a crack. There's a huge crash, okay? And someone was booking it, and then maybe they just had almost too much grip, and then they turned into a wall and they crashed. When they crash, their helmet didn't just come off. It flew off their head and it bounced onto the track. So I thought a kid was dead. You
thought that was a head?
I did. In my mind, Like when you get hit by a car, we've talked about this. When you get hit by a car, sometimes a shoe will fly off.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen someone crash and their helmet popped off. Like, obviously that means the helmet just wasn't on right, but the fact that it popped off and bounced like Final Destination, I thought I was looking at a dead kid.
Man, in this track, in this picture, like it looks like a pretty small indoor go-kart track for them to be going 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, so then
That's wild.
it says
how is not
speeds
everyone
up to 50 miles per hour. So like,
how is not everyone dead in here?
so when you zoom in the picture, do you see the guy standing next to the go-kart? That kid, okay. So just to paint the picture for the audience, the kid drives into the wall, right? So he takes 2 sharp turns, drives into the wall. His helmet flies off and bounces, and immediately I think I was alone, and I'm very embarrassed about it. But
immediately Josh starts mourning.
I gasped, because in my head, when you see a helmet bounce on a racetrack, that's always death. You know what I mean? Because a helmet is like a wheel. Anytime you see a loose one on a track, you're like, whoever lost that needs that.
Yeah, like if it was a movie, you'd like have right before the crash, then you'd cut to just the helmet rolling in slow motion down the road, and then you'd smash cut to a funeral.
Yes.
Like that's how you would do it in a movie.
Yes. So then
it's not a good image.
So then I did a big gasp by myself. Next to what I hope wasn't his family, because there were some. I had walked up to the track at this point because you could just watch the track from the regular mall. Yeah, I mean, just from standing. So now I'm standing at the track and I'm like, and there's a woman that's like, oh my God. And then she's like covering up this little kid. So like in my head, I'm like, that's his family, you know?
Oh, God.
And so he crashes and he's doing this thing where his hands are on his head, but I can't tell if it's out of embarrassment or because he hit his head so hard that the helmet flew off.
Okay, maybe he's like, I was wearing a helmet.
I was wearing a helmet, right?
Where did that? I swore I was wearing something.
So then I'm just standing there for a little while. Like everyone's just standing there for a little while, and they stop all the cars. So all the cars are like, frozen on the track. Mm-hmm. And then the guy walks up, and the kid's like, he's talking to him, but the kid just keeps doing this, like rubbing and touching his head. And I'm like, did he hit his head? Is he still like that perplexed where the helmet went?
Mm-hmm.
And because the helmet's behind him. So basically he hit the wall, the helmet flies off his head, bounces off the wall and flies over his head behind him.
Okay.
But I think maybe he just blinked or something and it all happened so fast. He was just like, so this is death. Because you don't need a helmet in heaven, you know?
Well, I think I just found a bumper sticker we need to make. You don't need a helmet in heaven.
And it's just an angel with a brain injury. Like,
yeah, with that, and then a sorry about your Brain King shirt, we're really leaning into head injury with our merch ideas.
And so finally, this kid, the guy's still talking to him, and I don't know if he asked him to get up or if the kid just wants to get up, but he gets up and he hops out of the car, and like an F1 race, people were like clapping. Like my man was brave. Like, you know what I mean? Like he did it. Okay.
Yeah.
And he did look like a teenager, so I'm sure he was just embarrassed.
Yeah.
Because he didn't look hurt at all.
That's the clap of like, oh, he is alive. Okay,
yeah,
good. Okay.
Yeah. And so after I saw the
when
crash,
a football player gets up and he's like, oh, he can walk. Okay.
Oh yeah, he can walk. He does have the CTE, by the way.
Yeah.
The fact that he was on the ground that long means he's hurt, but he can walk.
He can walk though.
We have to feel less bad about this now.
We don't have to worry about it right now.
Yeah.
If he couldn't walk, we're all worried right now.
Yeah. So basically, he gets up. He starts, walking to the gate, to like the holding area for people to watch. And in my head, I'm like, it almost feels like an omen. It's while I'm walking up, there's a crash.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if there's crashes all the time, but as soon as I saw that kid get out of the cart and walk away, I was like, I think I'm good. I think I'm not that good of a driver anyway. I was really excited to do it as well. I was like fully hyped to do it.
Right.
Anyway. So I
gotta do a show later. I can't have a brain injury.
Yeah. So then I'm walking around like, okay, so go-karts is off the list. I'm a little hungry. I'm thinking this Joe's Crab Shack is going to be a great place to have lunch, Mm-hmm. And so I go on the hunt for the Joe's Crab Shack because on the mall's map, it says that it's back up where I was near the Target.
Okay.
And so on the 4th floor, so I got to go all the way back up.
The 4th floor? This is a big-ass mall.
It's a huge mall. It's
That's
so big.
That's like a Mall of America, level mall, if it's got 4 floors.
Yeah, it's just not as long as
big,
Mall of America. But it is, right. Floor-wise, it's wild.
Damn.
So then I'm looking for the Joe's Crab Shack forever. I finally just give up because I just don't see it. And I'm like, well, there's this place called Red Crab. So I guess I'll just go in there. And
that sounds like the broke version of a seafood place. And I do Red Crab.
I sit down. I'm like dejected because I'm like, man, I want Joe's Crab Shack. Mm-hmm. And then a table.
Give me Red Lobster. Just give me Red Crab.
Yeah. And so then across from me, there was a family eating. And I'm sitting there for quite a while. And as I'm ordering and everything, the family is just like, didn't this used to be Joe's Crab Shack? And the other one was like, yeah. And I was sitting there like, why didn't I realize immediately? Oh, yeah, mm-hmm. This is probably just Joe's Crab Shack was out of business. And somebody was like, I have an idea. Crabs are red.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I bought this restaurant space and they left all these crabs.
They left a bunch of crabs, a few mussels, and some scallops.
And everything's got a reddish hue to it, so we'll just do that.
I feel like this is how you start a business, with the old seafood of the last place.
Yeah.
A couple customers just going to have to get a little sick to get the word out that we're here.
Yeah, because they'll talk about it.
Yeah. So then after that, I go to the arcade, and this is actually where it gets very sad. So there's a Dave and Buster's in this mall. There's another arcade, I think, with another name that's brandish, but I don't remember what it is. And then there was just
Jesters.
Something it was it. Honestly, I couldn't tell you because I just kept passing it because I didn't want to go in that one. For some reason, I was just I don't think they have good games in there. And then I walk into the arcade that's near the comedy club, and almost everything needs 2 people. I even did the basketball one.
By myself. Just a sad montage of Josh at 2-player arcade machines.
This is what ends up happening, though. I'm I'm essentially trying to do everything that I can that's solo, but I'm also the only one in the arcade. And there's only one guy working the arcade. So he's just watching me go from game to game playing by myself. I'm I walk in and I'm like, hey man, so how does it work? I pay you or what? And he's like,
first go make some friends.
yeah. First come back with people. So then I'm like, hey, how's it work? Do I pay you or what? And he's like, you can if you want, but there's a machine over there that just, it's a card that you load and stuff. And he starts explaining to me. So it works just like Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm like, I'm playing the basketball one where the rim just keeps like going forward and backwards. And I get in one. Like in the entire round, I get in one basket because like my aim just every time was off because I was trying to guess where the rim would go. And then every time I try to play again, it says waiting for more players and it makes me wait for 30 seconds. Just to remind me that I'm by myself.
Yeah. Yeah, surely no one would play this alone.
Yeah.
Let your friends tag in, yeah.
That's why there's another basketball goal right next to this one, because it's supposed to be a competitive game. And then I did the punch. They had the punch one where you test the strength of your punch. What? That is the game.
I wasn't laughing at your description. That is seeing just someone do that by themselves with no one around them.
Yeah.
It's just
I probably
like,
look slow. Like
here's a lonely, angry man who wanted to just punch something.
It would be funny if that dude was filming me and he's just like Incel's day out. It's just me at the arcade. Just punching the knockout machine. I just wanted to say 999 so bad. And even though I'm getting angry, I can't seem to punch harder.
Ooh, it's going to be hard not to title this one Incel Stay Out.
And so,
my friends didn't show up.
I'm like cranking it too. First of all, I play it. Admittedly, I play it too many times. Like I play it like I have a problem. This is my only outlet. Swipe. Oh!
Yeah, like you just came from a court hearing. Gotta go work this out right now.
Yeah, I'm furious that I won custody.
Yeah. Yeah, like the kids in the car.
Kids in the car. Bump. How do I keep still getting like halfway? I'm so mad. I should be knocking this thing through the roof. So,
man,
I play it way too many times. And then there's air hockey, and I had a moment of silence for how I would have dusted your ass if you had been there. And
yeah, I mean, when you're by yourself, you can really have fantasies like that because you wouldn't have to face reality.
Kid, let me tell you, all right? I would have sunned you, okay? I would have beat you so bad that I would have had to buy you the baseball cap with the fan on top. All right?
You would have played that punch machine way more times to work out the frustration from getting your ass ruined.
No. You, yourself, you, sir, Logan, the individual in front of me, you, yes, you.
Me, sure.
Would
Me,
have
the guy who's really good at air hockey.
Screaming with how much you would have been losing.
Well, I always scream when I'm victorious. Like put my hands up.
Losing.
I'm not familiar with that term because it doesn't happen when I'm around you.
That's very cute, but we both know that you would have been destroyed. Anyway.
No, okay. I'm just saying you were lucky you were by yourself.
Anyway.
I know you were I know you're sounding sad, but you were very lucky to be alone in this situation. Otherwise, I would have ruined your day. Continue.
You would have ruined nothing. My day would have been made from seeing the tears stream through your beard. onto the wispy air of that table, watching your tears float like an air hockey puck. So then I must have been there for like an hour because
Jesus.
people finally start showing up, and it just makes it worse. Like, because before I just had to worry about the guy manning the place watching me, being like, "Wow, he's really by himself." And if you think it's sad to be by
He's
yourself,
not happy about it
in an arcade, like the whole of an arcade just to yourself seems like a dream until you realize how many games need another person. So then the only thing,
especially like a mall arcade, because it's not like old cabinets. It's like it's those social games. It's not just like, oh, there's a Galaga. It's not that. It's not like a throwback barcade kind of thing.
Exactly. And so basically the only thing sadder than being at the arcade by yourself is reloading the card to play more games by yourself. When you have to reload the card.
I gotta put more money on this card so I can punch this thing more.
I'm telling you, I had to reload the card 3 times because I kept running out of credits. And it feels crazy initially to be like, oh yeah, let me put $50 on this card. Because in your mind, you're like by yourself. You're like, why would I ever spend that much money? Whatever. But then you spend 10, and then you're like, you run out, but it's only been 10 minutes. So then you get another 10.
How much money did you spend it? Did you put 50 on first and then had to reload after that?
No, I kept putting too little.
Oh, okay. Because the way you said it, I got worried for a second that you spent like $150.
No.
At this arcade by yourself.
No. I spent at first I got $10 because I also didn't know how much everything would cost. So I'm like, I might only play a couple games. Let me not put so much on this card that I have stuff left over.
Right.
So then I did 10 and then I did 20. And then I maybe did another 10 or 20. I can't remember. But either way, once people start to show up, it gets so much worse because now people are like straight up on dates. And so now, I'm like trying to play. I'm trying to play games next to people who are like actively on a date. And they're also like teenagers too. So they're not even like,
if it's a date, they're kids.
They're not even like other adults, you know? And so it's just me trying to hit clowns with a ball. And then he's doing the ring toss, and she's like, yeah, you can do it. And then anytime I even accidentally make eye contact with them, they both look down. Like I'm like actually trying to get away from them as quick as possible, but my game is still going, and I've already swiped the card. So I'm like, oh, jeez. And it's also not a big arcade. This arcade is like 2 rooms. So then there's like
so everyone sees you at all times.
Yeah, everyone sees you the whole time. And so then I got on this motorcycle one where they don't explain the game at all. So I'm on the motorcycle and they have the throttle, but they didn't what's the thing that you grip that's like, so you have both handles, one has a throttle, and then there's a little thing that you clutch. Is it the clutch?
There's like the brake one.
The brake, okay, yeah.
One of the other, there's usually like a little clutch, like switch or whatever, but it's not like the handlebar. I think I don't know motorcycles that well. Don't leave a comment. I don't care.
I played the entire thing without using the brakes once, so I kept crashing because I didn't. I would throttle less, but that's not the same as braking. So then I was just crashing horribly, and I'm swinging because it was one of the ones you can lean with. And so I'm like swinging and crashing into stuff, and I'm getting really frustrated. And then there's just like a group of kids behind me because they're waiting to play it together. It's like it was horrible. It like
you get off and go to the punch game again. Ah!
Honestly, it was like, so then I did play the punch game after that because I was like, at least this one you're supposed to like do alone and like no one can judge you and stuff.
No, that second part's not true. That second part's not true of that game.
And so then I played that one a few too many extra times with witnesses there. And
Jesus, John.
And then it was actually kind of funny because when I started playing this other game, remember when we went to the arcade? This would have been years ago, I guess. But there was that drop game where you drop the balls into the cups and you try to get all 50 balls into the 50 cups as they rotate.
I don't know if I remember that game.
Do you remember this? It's like you hit a button and the ball drops per time you hit the button.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm playing that one. From that one, you can kind of still see the punching bag game. And this kid, I felt better about my experience playing it because even if I seem like a crazy person, this kid fully missed. I don't even know how he missed. But he reared back to swing, and like in one of those viral videos, he just fully misses.
Nice.
And then hits it with his head, so it barely goes up. Like it he got like a 7.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm not the only one who's awkward here. That's nice. You know?
I mean, he's got the excuse of being a teenager, but
whatever.
I know.
And you
at least look younger than you are too. Like, because if I was there, I think it'd be worse actually. Because I look like a man in his mid-30s. So.
Well, it helped that
me clearly trying to bond with my adopted son
that you somehow lost. Because if you're in there by yourself, I will say it helped that I had a lollipop.
Well, I meant me with you.
Oh,
is what
yeah. It helped that I had a lollipop in my mouth the entire time.
You know those big ass lollies?
Nah, just a Tootsie Pop.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I love you.
But I will say, being there by myself was the first time where I was like, yeah, maybe I should start drinking. Because, it's like there's a difference between being in a bar it's a different type of sad to be at a bar at 3 p.m. on a Thursday drinking, like just day drinking. But there's like on a Thursday as well. I know that there's ESPN, but there's no sport on. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So even if you're watching the game having a beer, you're watching a game where the outcome was already determined. Like,
I mean, baseball games will be on Thursdays and stuff too.
Oh, Thursdays during the day?
Yeah, I mean, baseball is kind of fucking all over.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah. I just imagine when I was passing the sports bar, I was just like, I've already seen this fight like 3 times. These are just highlights. Like,
right,
if I was drinking and watching this fight right now, I'd be like, maybe he'll win the third one.
There is also a difference between like just going to like, because I've done that when I'm on the road where it's like, well, I'll just go sit in this bar and like have a beer and just nurse it. There's a difference between just like sitting down to just have something to do and then drinking. Because if you're sitting there getting drunk at a mall on a Thursday afternoon, that's supremely sad. It makes sense to just sit down and have a drink.
I'm saying, how can you not when you have hours to kill? I think you'd do it by accident. I think you would sit down and be like, all right, I'll just have a drink at this bar, the sports bar. I'll have like a beer. And then you get done with your beer and you realize there's still 3.5 hours until your show.
Right, yeah.
You might have one more and then now you're like, let me eat. And then you eat, but now you're like, I might as well have one more because I still have 3 hours to kill.
Right. And this is why I tend to just hang out like in the hotel room, just so I don't have to worry about any social contracts of any kind.
And so basically, by the time I wrap up, I feel like I've effectively alienated everyone in this arcade. Like, They weren't trying to be my friend, but I think I've like sufficiently made everyone uncomfortable because I did. Okay, so with the 50 balls game, I did get 48.
Nice.
And my yes at the end was a little too loud.
Before you were just kind of alone, and now you're like, yeah, you're pumped now.
I'm not pumped about being alone. I'm pumped that I got 48 out of the 50.
No, I know why you're pumped, but yeah, you're sending a lot of messages to these people.
Yeah. So then I head out. I take my tickets. I get a couple prizes, and I peace out.
What prizes did you get?
It's mostly stuff for Sally.
What?
I told the guy I had a girlfriend.
I'll tell you right now, he did not believe that at all.
So I got her.
Oh, sure. Give this to your girlfriend next time she's down from Canada.
I got her a jumping frog for her desk. So it's the one where you pop the back and it hops up. And then I got her a little parachute army man because she hadn't seen one of those before.
And she went on and tussled your hair.
And then
thank you, Joshy.
I got us a domino set so that we can play dominoes sometimes when we stay in. And I got a fake mustache for her, me, and Chance. What?
You're a huge fucking dork.
Me? What? What? What are you saying right now?
You heard me. You heard me.
What are you talking about? That's super cool.
Oh boy.
What?
Don't shake your head like this whole story hasn't been about you looking crazy.
The fake mustaches is dope. You're telling me that you don't wonder what you, Jess, and Maddie having fake mustaches would look like.
Well, I have a real mustache, so that's never really been a...
Yay for you. You didn't answer my question. If you, Jess, and Maddie all had fake mustaches.
If we all had fake mustaches, would be very fun. I would not... I would not have the cost of that being an hour and a half alone in an arcade.
It wasn't
surrounded by judgmental teens.
It wasn't the cost because I didn't even know the mustaches existed until it was time to turn my tickets in.
The thing is, you're proving my point by how defensive you're being about your fake mustaches.
I'm not being defensive. I'm surprised that this is the thing that's like breaking you.
No. This was a journey. Okay, there was an arc leading to this breaking. Okay, if you would have just said, "I went to an arcade and I won some little things," okay, yeah, because you use the credits, you use the token. That's fine. I do that too. But it was the leading up to it, and then to still be like, "I'm gonna go get a bunch of toys." I have a girlfriend. This is for my girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah, let the people know.
It just sounds like someone slowly making it up. Like, no, I'll get mustache. I'll get 3 because we have a dog too. We live together. Everything's great. They're real, and he's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't you go punch the thing one more time? This one's on me. Go ahead, buddy. How'd the shows go though?
It was good. It was good.
Good.
It was a fun time. I feel like there was one other thing that happened at the mall before, because even then, even after the arcade, I still had like 2 hours before the show.
Jesus Christ!
I was like, this has got to be what purgatory is like. just killing time in a half-dead mall on a Thursday. Wow.
Yeah.
You wait for your show.
That's social purgatory is what that is.
Yeah.
Because you're technically out around people, but you're not around people.
Yeah, that part was rough. Yeah, that's where I ate. I played games. Oh man, it did suck. After I ate, I went back to this place that was called like Aim Point or something, and it looked like an airsoft shooting range. And it looked dope. But when I first passed it, the guy was just by himself, and I was like, let me see what else is in the mall before I because I had my backpack with me. I was like, before I put my bag down and get settled somewhere, let me see if there's anything else I want to do. And then I walked to the go-karts, and then I got something to eat. And by the time I was done eating, the airsoft place was closed. So that was one big regret. Like whenever I go back to that mall, it'll be with a person and play airsoft.
Yeah, because the airsoft by yourself would have been the saddest. After spending that time in the arcade by myself, now I need to really go just shoot a gun for a while.
Yeah, you ever can't get it all out in punches? You ever want to hold the replica of a weapon of war?
Yeah. Just really think about something, you know? Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's
Do you ever whisper names when you're looking at the target?
Jeez, with each pull of the trigger. Yeah, these situations are handled up here now.
Yeah. Just recocking it, Steven. Oh man.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And you said there was a VR place. Did you go to that? Because that's your thing.
Oh yeah, I got very sick.
Oh really?
Yeah, because it wasn't a good VR. Like it didn't look good as far as the graphics. And you need this is the problem with a lot of VR now that tries to do an immersive experience is that they will then. What's the best way to describe this? They will be so focused on making the backdrop look good that sometimes the depth of the things that are close to you versus far away just feels blurry, looks blurry. You know what I mean? Like there's just a thing of like something's lost in translation here to where you end up with, I understand their design and their idea, but you end up with like PS1 level graphics and you can't do that in VR or you'll get sick.
Yeah, because you don't get the proper depth of field and stuff like that.
Yeah. And so that is where I'm like, oh, this is not a fun time. Because remember when I was at the mall, I told you about when I was at the mall in Indianapolis and there was just that lady by herself that was like, I was the only person to do the VR that day.
and you didn't know that you were seeing your future.
Jeez. I was the only person to do the VR. I got sick at that VR because that one was just also horrible graphics. It was like that again. So
what was the experience? Like, what was it?
It was like a ship where you have
good. So you can get seasick too.
Yeah. So you have your blasters and it's like moving you as you try to shoot the targets and stuff.
Okay.
But I think also that's another one where I know this doesn't make any sense because the headset is like on you, but I'm pretty sure if another person was there to like give you some range of where things were, you also wouldn't get as like in my opinion as like woozy as I got.
I guess what do you mean by that? If someone else is there,
so they had this thing where people could sit next to each other. They had one that was like for two people.
Oh, okay. So you're saying then you'd have like another person
you'd have
in
another
the experience to kind of ground you a little bit.
Yeah, to ground you, like you hear their voice and stuff. So you're not fully isolated in it. And also it looks like your arms would be touching or something. Like there'd just be one thing where it's like, okay, here's where I am.
What you're saying is it'd be nice to have human contact, is what you're saying.
Sure.
Is kind of what you're saying is just human contact and human intimacy would solve a lot of the issues at this mall.
Yep.
Yep.
They also had a Jamba Juice. I didn't go to it because I was feeling very ill, but I love me a Jamba Juice.
Well, isn't necessarily a stellar review of this mall, but
And I'm going to go back. Like, I think that this mall, once again, this mall is dope with if you have like your friends there with you, because
if you have love in your life, it's a great mall.
Jeez. All I'm saying is that like each experience was made for more than like even the go-karts in retrospect would have been me trying to beat a bunch of 7-year-olds on the track. Like really trying to bully them with my go-kart. Like push their carts out of the way and stuff. Which there's some kids you're never gonna catch up with because they're too light.
Right.
So then, you know, if they're going 50 miles per hour, but they're only, 80 pounds, I'm never catching up.
That, like, also, I'm just still kind of, like, in an indoor track, go-karts going 50 miles an hour, and then having little kids do them. Like, that is just giving a child a car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which like, legally you can't do.
I mean, the fact that they said up to 50 miles per hour, I didn't believe it until I saw that kid's helmet fly off.
Well, even in that picture you sent too.
Can you see the helmet in the picture? Do you see the?
I can't see the helmet, I don't think, but I just noticed like there's the sign at the bottom there, and it says wait time whatever, but it also has pro karting ages 13 plus. So it's like you have to be 13 to get on like the 50 miles an hour carts, or
I guess so.
There's another one underneath it. That
I
says
didn't
like 8
ask
to 12.
anyone anything because I was like,
because you had witnessed a death.
Yeah. So okay, real quick.
Yeah.
In the picture, if you zoom in above where it says emergency exit only, and you see that cluster in front of the wall, that's his helmet.
Oh, right above that sign?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Doesn't look like a good helmet either.
Yeah, it does look like something that would fly off your face, right? Yeah. Imagine a scared helmet. Imagine a helmet that's like, you know what? I'd rather not get hit today. And then it just leaves your head.
Yeah, when the helmet would rather not have the impact.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds fun. Sounds like you had a great time. Jesus. That was the saddest look off you've ever done.
What?
All right. Don't be that way. We got anything else, or do we want to do kind of a longer mailbag, or what are you thinking?
Oh, okay. There was one other thing.
Oh, okay.
So I was going in all these shops, and I wasn't even looking at the names. Okay, this is. I just want to go over how I got into this mall because in case anyone ever needs this information. All right. So I took a bus from the city to across from the mall. So it's Lot J across from the Palisades Mall, right? Then.
Wow, this is specific. I didn't think you were gonna
No. But this is what's crazy. This just hear me out. This is what's insane.
Okay.
Where
right.
You may even just side with them. Knowing you're not gonna take my side, but this was crazy. And when I talked about it at the show, it got like an applause break because everyone was so annoyed by this. Okay, so you get off at Lot J, and then you walk across. I mean, kind of. It's not a highway, but you walk across the road when you get the chance because there's no light and there's nothing to stop a car from running you right over. But across from that lot.
Wow, I love that you're risking your life to go to this mall.
Well, the show is in the mall. I have to do the show.
Oh, that's true. That's true. The show is in the mall.
Yeah. Oh. So anyway, I cross the highway street, and I walk into the Home Depot, and I'm in the Home Depot trying to get to the rest of the mall for quite a while. Like I look like I should be building something with all the, because I finally just start walking down every aisle because I'm like, it has to be one of them, right? And I'm like,
if you're looking around that much, you're surely going to purchase something.
And I got my hands on my hips like a dad with a project. Like I'm so lost in how to get to the mall. And so finally, this guy stops me, and he's like, "Hey, are you all right? Like, can I help you find something?" And I wasn't trying to be dramatic. Like, I wasn't.
Are you all right?
I wasn't like trying to be rude or anything. But I was like, "Oh, I don't want anything from this place. I just want to get to the mall."
Did you say it that way?
Yeah. I was just.
I don't want anything from this place. Is such a great sentence to say to someone at a store.
But
I feel like everyone who's ever gone to a Spencer's Gifts could say that. Oh, I don't want anything from this place. It's just a show, kind of.
I tell him that. I'm like, I'm just trying to get to the mall. He's like, oh, and like you can see on his face that this happens like 50 times a day. So then he's like, you actually have to walk out and then walk like a few doors across.
Oh, so it doesn't have an entryway to the mall in the Home Depot.
The Home Depot,
it's just a part of the mall.
The Home Depot is somehow connected to the mall without. They just didn't find it necessary to share a single wall with the mall that they're connected to.
Yeah, no, I've had that where I've been in like a J.C. Penney because I thought it was an entrance, and I'm just like, well, I don't want to be in this J.C. Penney.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to get to the.
I parked here because I thought this was the north entrance to the mall. And
yes, exactly.
Anyway, so then he's like, you have to leave. You have to walk out and around and everything. I was like,
you have to leave.
God, okay. And so then I walk out of the Home Depot. I walk down a few doors, and when I walk in, it's still Home Depot. Like it's like he's actually he can actually still see me from where I've re-entered. And he's like, keep going. And I'm furious because I'm like, why? How is this my job? Just connect the Home Depot to the mall that it's connected to. And so then I walk out, and he didn't mention, which, whatever. He was already doing me a solid. But he did not mention that there's no like sidewalk or pathway to walk around and into the Target parking lot to enter the Target to enter the mall. So then I'm basically in the street. Like I'm like in the road, walking around the Home Depot gravel. And then a car comes, so I just jump into the Target rocks. And now I'm walking up the Target rocks to get to the parking lot to get into the Target. And this has never happened to me at Target. So, like, this is also not my fault in my mind. So, only Walmart that I know of has greeters, right?
Sure.
So, I walk into the Target, and someone comes in at me way too hot. And they're like, hey, can I help you find anything? Like, I'm barely in the door. They're like, hey, can I help you find anything? And I'm like, I don't want anything from this place. I just want to get to the mall.
I don't want anything from this place.
And so then their face just drops because I guess they were real hyped to make some Target sales. Their face drops and they're like, oh, yeah, it's that. Like, just past electronics. And I was like, oh, thank you, right?
Wow, they dropped their customer service quick.
Our energies completely and totally changed. So mine reversed and went like upbeat, like, oh, thank you, because I've been walking for quite a while to get to the mall. And theirs was just like, yeah.
Yeah, which like you don't get paid a commission at Target.
Yeah. So then I'm walking and so then I walk into the mall. I see the club. I see the Dave and Buster's. I mean, all the stuff. So fast forward to like after the VR, where I'm trying to get my bearings back on the ground floor. I'm just like, this is the ground. You're right side up. It's gonna be all right, right? And I'm doing this thing where I'm just walking
You're still
into
on
each
Earth.
store. Yeah, I'm just walking into each store to be like, let me hit every store, you know. Maybe there'll be
And
something.
tell them I don't want anything from this place.
Well, then I because I'm walking in and out of each store, door to door, I'm not actually looking at what I'm walking into. So like
Right.
there was this one that was like it was called Alternative, and it's like a Native American like clothing and like just like a heritage store, it seemed, right? So there was a lot of cool stuff in there, and there was a hoodie that I almost got because it zipped up across the chest instead of down, and I was like, this is are more people not doing this? This is incredible. And then I walk out.
It also has the word. I just caught there's a pun in there because it's alternative.
Yeah,
native, isn't there?
yeah.
I think that's I know that's maybe goes without saying, but I kind of was like, oh, that's actually a pretty clever name for
Yeah.
a store like that. That's actually kind of a perfect brand.
Right. And there's a store that's also in the mall that sells a lot of what they sell, like, you know, crystals and all the stuff like that. That I was like, that place, I feel like that place is copping this place's style. Like,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if I buy anything, it's going to be from here. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And so anyway, I walk out of that store and walk into a Claire's. Now, I've never been in a Claire's before. So at first I was like, these are just enamel pins. Because you know how I bought that jean jacket? So I'm like, oh, wow, look at all these pins. Then I realized they're like rings, like they're like belly button rings and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
I should get out of
That's
here
where little
now.
girls. That's where little girls get their ear pierced.
Yeah, so I was
is the
like,
Claire's.
and as I'm turning around to walk out, there's a woman that's like, "Can I help you?" And she's all chipper, and I'm like dejected by now. I'm just like, I don't want anything from this place. And then I just sat in a massage chair till it was time to go to the show.
This is like a great story of a day where really nothing happened.
Yeah.
But a lot happened internally.
Yeah. Yeah.
You did find a little corner of purgatory for yourself.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing.
Man.
Oh, I don't want anything from this place. That's fantastic. Oh, well, should we open up the mailbag?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to read some Apple reviews that we have there. Here's some 5-star reviews from Apple Podcasts. This one here, this is from Half Pint A9, and this one has the title Roy's Job Fair. 5-star review. I never heard Josh Johnson until I heard him on Roy Wood Jr.'s Job Fair episode Extra Cold when he told the story about his uncle pulling up to you've told me this story, pulling up to Church's Chicken with his own chicken to be dropped in the grease. That is a great story. I couldn't stop laughing. I had to Google this guy to find who he was. Let me admit, his voice doesn't match his face. How does that make you feel?
I've heard it before.
Him and Logan are the perfect duo. Also, Logan's timing is always dead on. This podcast made my life perfect, even though the pandemic. And I'm also a Hot Grape Patreon tier person. So thank you. Thank
you so much.
To go from being like, I've never heard of this person, and then now you're part of the Patreon. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's very kind.
That's
Hot
fantastic.
Grape especially.
Yeah. There's many tiers, so go check out Patreon if you haven't yet. This one is from Fredo Coy, and this one is titled "Come to PDX." Love the podcast. Y'all should come do comedy in Portland. It would be amazing to see y'all live. That'd be really fun. We'd love to come to Portland. Would be awesome. But we do have, I believe, when this comes out next week, we're going to be in Phoenix together.
Yeah. So get those Phoenix tickets. They're going to be in the show notes.
It's the 15th and 16th of September is when we're there.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. We seem pretty sure. So we'll be in Phoenix at some point. But Portland, we'll try to find time. I've never been to Portland. I'd love to go. Have you been to Portland?
Yeah,
you have. Probably several times, right?
Mm-hmm.
This one here is from Izzy Belly H. I love this title because it just says, understandably funny. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I like it.
I see why other people.
I get why some people tolerate it. Love the podcast. Reminds me of whenever I with my mother and her siblings and the crazy stuff they say. So I'm glad we remind you of some middle-aged women.
Mm-hmm.
Love how Josh is naturally the calm type of crazy. And Logan sounds like he is close to calling a psych ward every time, or is just like, we need to talk. Keep it up. Thank you for that one. And this one here, we got these are some couple new ones. This one is as great as almond pumpkin spice creamer, I think is what it says. 5-star review. This is from Reina Do Toxica. When Dulce mentioned Josh had another podcast, I immediately subscribed to this one from your show you do with Dulce. I'm starting. So these reviews are all about how other Daily Show people brought people to. This one has a theme.
Oh yeah.
I'm starting from the older episodes first, and I'm certain it's helping to cure my recent crippling anxiety. Thank you both for the much-needed escape from a new virus every 30 minutes. God, that's fucking right. And whatever disturbing law my state is enforcing. Oh, and by now, you might know this, Josh, but Califia Farms makes a perfect pumpkin spice almond milk. It's not a creamer, but hopefully that still works for you. Go crazy. What an outstanding podcast. Thank you for that. And now you know a good pumpkin spice milk to get. Because that season's coming. It's about to be fall. It's about to be pumpkin coffee creamer season.
It is on the way.
It's on the way. We'll have to do something with that. Should we do some creamer tasting?
Only if you're gonna take it seriously. Like I feel like if this is gonna be,
what does that mean?
I feel like if this is gonna be you being like, yeah, you drank it that time. You know what I mean? I feel like now
I didn't even bring it up. It was someone in the.
Now you know how delicious it is, because so many people have written in talking about like, I've either done it, I've done it too, or they've been like, hey, here's a suggestion of what you should drink, or hey, did I find the creamer? That now I think you're jealous. I think that you want some creamer in your life. I think you want pumpkin everything all the time, thick, creamy pumpkin liquids.
I also want to be very clear. People have not been messaging and saying, I've also done it, because it's stupid. This one, too, is specifically like, hey, here's an alternative of something you should drink that's not just coffee creamer. These are people trying to help you out. These are people trying to be like, oh, this poor boy lost in this mall drinking coffee creamer. Let me help him.
You're painting a fraudulent picture. All right.
Okay.
You're mixing, you're conflating two different things.
Okay. It's cute how he acts like he didn't do it, even though, it's on record.
I never said I didn't do it. I said that you're jealous.
I listen, I'm trying to support you in your passions. So that's what I was saying. We could do a sampling. I don't want to drink a whole jug. That'd be insane. But you don't
know insane until you taste a little bit, and then you know what's gonna happen.
That's the craziest sentence you've ever said. You don't know insane until you've tasted a little bit.
You know what? You're gonna drink some, and then you're gonna apologize to me, and then you're gonna beg me not to tell anybody about how wrong you were.
I would never.
Yeah,
I would never apologize to you.
Uh huh. Was there one more you wanted to read, or was that it?
I could do one more. There was another one here, kind of on theme, because I think it was also about, about Hold Up that you do with Dulce. This one's called Cackling Escapism from Purplicious 101. I don't think I've read this one. I went down a rabbit hole on YouTube and found Josh's YouTube page, and when I realized there was more podcasts to consume since I started listening to Hold Up, it has been quite a time. I started with the most recent episodes and was riding the bus and straight up choke laughing in public. Listening to this has been great for escaping from the dumpster fire of the news, and I really appreciate the content. Ooh, not sure if this has been talked about before on the podcast since I have to circle back to the older eps, but what's the worst place/time you laughed out loud?
Oh, wow. Yeah, we should do a whole episode about that.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me time to think, because I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm going to think on that.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely have times. Not only am I a loud laugher, I'm an inappropriate laugher sometimes. So there's plenty of times when I'm the one laughing at something that no one else is.
Yeah.
Even at like comedy, where I'll laugh at like a joke that I like, but like no one else is. So everyone is just kind of looking at me.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like, no, that was a funny joke, but like no one else really got it or didn't appreciate. I like good like throwaways too.
Yeah,
but everyone kind of look at me just like, what's this guy's fucking deal? I'm just enjoying the joke. But yeah, we'll come back to that one because that's actually a great question.
Thank you so much for listening to the Josh Johnson Show. We had a great time recording. I hope you had a great time listening. If you are looking to catch up with us on any of the socials, you can find me at Josh Johnson Comedy on Instagram, at Josh Johnson on Facebook. That's wrong. I'll just start again. Thanks so much for listening to the Josh Johnson Show. We had a great time recording. I hope you had a great time listening. If you are looking to catch up with us on any of the socials, you can find me at Josh Johnson Comedy on Instagram, Josh J Comedy on Facebook, at Josh Johnson on Twitter, and at Josh Johnson Comedy on TikTok and YouTube, where we're going to be posting clips of the show. And if you're looking for Logan,
you can follow me on Instagram at Logan M. Nielsen. And if you want to get into the mailbag, you can either leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, because we like to read those, or email us, joshjohnsonshow@gmail.com. Also, one of those reviews brought up our Patreon, Josh Johnson Show. Patreon.com/Josh Johnson Show. We have 4 different tiers there with a variety of bonuses and different stuff going on there, and we put all that stuff in the episode bios, including links to where we're going to be doing shows. We'll be in Phoenix. Any other shows you want to plug coming up that we want to mention? Or
I think that Phoenix is the next one that's soon. Give me 1 second right here.
If you're in Minnesota, I'll be at Rochester, Minnesota, Goonies Comedy Club. It's actually the club I started comedy back. It hasn't been open for 2 years. They're having a grand reopening at a new place, and I'll actually be headlining. So if you are in Minnesota or near it, it's not too far from the Twin Cities, I don't think, if you live up there. But come on down, and then we'll be in Phoenix, and then
come through to see Logan, and then Phoenix September 15th and the 16th. And
I'm headlining a show in Mason City, Iowa, on the 17th, but that's pretty in the middle of nowhere.
And I think that's our September right there.
Yeah, and then we have some stuff coming up in October that we'll be talking about coming up. We're going to be in a couple different places, so hopefully more and more regularly we'll be out on the road together, and we want to get to all those places where people are asking us to come. We want to hit all of them, but people need to hire us. Anything else?
No. Everybody have a great week into the weekend.
Yeah. Have a good one.